Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Note to Self. Today, I want to talk about something that I've noticed in my own life, in the lives of clients lately, and in the lives of my friends. And this is periods of density, moments where everything feels heavy, unclear, even uncomfortable, and for an extended period of time, I'll say, like anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. And then almost overnight, it shifts. It's as if we go to bed with the weight of the world on our shoulders and wake up the next morning in a completely different energy. Suddenly, that heaviness has lifted, clarity has arrived, and we feel lighter, freer, and more aligned. If you've ever wondered what's happening during these shifts, if you've found yourself in a period of density and you just feel like something's got to give, this episode is for you because I'm going to dive in. Like I said, this has been something that I've heard repeatedly in my reality over the last month. And it is something that I personally experienced in one area of my life where I just felt like something's just feeling super uncomfortable. I don't feel called to do any routines or rituals to shift things inside my body. I just had this intuitive knowing that I'm just meant to sit with this discomfort, and I just know that it's being alchemized or transmuted, just me being with it and not trying to fix it. And surely enough, I just woke up one day and it felt like that entire energy, that heaviness, that density had been completely lifted, and it's been gone ever since. And I feel so much more free in that area of my life. And of course, the quantum shift in reality, I experienced external reflections of that in my life where things just got a lot easier. So let me define density first. So what I mean by density is that energetic heaviness. It can look like exhaustion, irritability, brain fog, or just the sense that no matter what you do, things feel stuck. You might not even know what needs to move. You just know something is off. So it really requires tuning into your intuition to understand this. And that's what I found in myself. Like I almost felt like the density that I was experiencing, the density that I am actually experiencing in other areas of my life, especially navigating the grief journey. What I've found when I tune in and ask about this process and what's unfolding, the message continues to be just be with it. Just be with it. Just hold it. And in that holding with love and nurturing energy, the alchemization will happen, as in the dense energy will start to transform into light energy. This might sound a little woo, but I know that those of you who are drawn to this episode and who are listening to it right now, there's something here for you. So here's the truth. Density isn't something to fear or resist. It's often a sign that energy is rearranging itself. So think of it like storm clouds before a clear sky. The clouds are part of the process. They build, they gather, and then eventually they move on. What I want to say about this process is that the emotions and the energy can be very uncomfortable. And one thing that's been a superpower when I've been able to access it, I've been continuing to bring myself back to the space, is understanding that I cannot think my way through this. This is something that I'm very clear is a process of the body. It's a process of the energy body deep in my system, and I can't think my way to a breakthrough about it. As mentioned, the intuitive message that I've continued to receive is just be with it. Just hold space for it. So I continually have been practicing bringing my mind back to my body, bring my focused awareness back to my body, and reminding myself that this is not something that the mind can find a solution for, because it's not of the mind, it's of the body. So I want to bring in something that some of you may have heard of, and that is the Schumann resonance. So this is essentially the Earth's natural heartbeat, a frequency of about 7.83 hertz that sometimes spikes or fluctuates. And When that happens, we, being deeply connected to the earth, can feel it in our bodies and our energies. So during spikes, those energetic frequency spikes, you might feel more restless, anxious, or heavy. But once the energy integrates, there's often a release. That's why so many of us have these sudden overnight shifts. We're not just individuals moving through density. We're also part of a collective energetic system that is constantly pulsing, resetting, and expanding. And I bring this into your awareness because I was feeling a lot of this density in my life last week, just a lot of anxiety, discomfort. I'm like, wow, some things are really moving. And all of a sudden, pop, the Schumann resonance popped into my brain. And I was like, hey, you know what? I haven't checked that out in a while. I haven't never really dove into it too much. But what I saw was that in that last week, there was the biggest spike that we've seen. So for those of you who are listening to this podcast, I pre-record my podcast a week or two in advance. So if you've been feeling maybe a bit wobbly lately, this can grant you some validation that the earth has been moving through some big energetic shifts. And in that, you may have been moving through your own pulsing, resetting, expanding process that might have to do with some energetic purging. So let's talk about the release happening overnight because, as mentioned, this is something that I've experienced, and a lot of people in my reality just all of a sudden wake up and it's like, whoa, okay, this isn't just waking up in a good mood. This is waking up and something big has been shifted, released, let go. So in our sleep, our subconscious and our nervous system naturally reset. While we rest, our body does deep integration work. So things that felt stuck in the day begin to dissolve naturally, and we don't always need to understand what's moving. Our job is simply to allow it. Our job is simply to just be with it. And that's the beauty of this phenomenon, is you don't have to figure it out. You just have to be with it. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply surrender and let the density move through you. And I share this idea about the overnight shift because I know that when you're moving through a stuck period in life, it can grant a bit of a tunnel vision, as in you can't see your way out. You can't see how things are going to get better. You wonder, am I always going to be stuck in this funk? Again, that's a natural human experience to have thoughts like that. But I share the overnight phenomenon because every single person is capable of quantum leaps. And what I consider a quantum leap is waking up with some of the bigger stressors or the bigger places of resistance in our bodies and our beings being released, because we know, again, that once density is transmuted, once resistance in our bodies has transformed, we have access to new levels of spaciousness and freedom in our beings. And our external reality, as a byproduct of our internal reality, will naturally reflect that level of freedom back to us. As I mentioned in the beginning of the episode, there's been plenty of times, but more recently, where I've woken up and I've been like, whoa, this is some crazy quantum leap that is a quantum leap that I've never had before, but I literally experienced it overnight. So I just want you to know that's possible. Let that fact, right, from my own life, my own story, the stories that I also have from clients and from friends of mine, that it can happen overnight, and just start to get familiar with the idea that miracles and quantum leaps, whatever you want to call them, can happen in any moment. And in fact, they happen every single day. So let's get back to the density for a minute. It's a necessity. I know it's uncomfortable, but density serves a purpose. It's not a punishment. It's a passage. That compression that you might feel in your chest, that tension you might feel in your body, it's preparing you for expansion. And more recently, I've been tuning in with my body and asking, what's the density here? And a message that I've been receiving is, you are opening up to receive. And whatever it is that I'm meant to be receiving in the future could be a multitude of things. But when I received that message intuitively, I'm like, yeah, of course. Like that's bang on, because when your intuition sends you those messages and you take a moment and you feel it through your body, you know what truth is for you. So call on your intuition, right? If you're feeling the discomfort of the density, pause, sit down on your yoga mat, put a hand on your heart, take a few deep breaths, get yourself into the present moment and ask, right? And don't question what you receive. Simply just be with it for a moment and see how it resonates through the body. So what can you do when you're in the thick of it? As mentioned, you can ground yourself and you can tune into your intuition for those messages. You can also ground yourself more physically, energetically by walking barefoot outside, by journaling, or by doing some simple deep breathing. You can also decide to care for your body, right? Drink a big glass of water, move gently, rest when you need to. Just start to tend to your needs on a closer level, just simply taking it moment by moment. And something else you can do is shift your perspective. This will go a long way. Remind yourself that this density is not forever. Something is moving and it's big. And you can even give yourself permission to be excited about that. Because if you're feeling uncomfortable right now, it's because something big is about to happen for you. And when you trust the process instead of fighting it, the density actually clears faster. It brings me back to that message of just be with it, because I am definitely someone who tries to wrestle or resist things a bit in my mind when things feel uncomfortable. I'm like, I just want to let it be easy, but sometimes there's a bit more of a process that has to happen for that ease to come flooding in. So when that overnight shift happens for you, I'm just planting those seeds as a good coach would. When you wake up lighter, clearer, freer, pause and honor it. Write about it in your journal. Anchor it in with gratitude, because when you recognize the pattern, you start to build trust. Trust that the heaviness always gives way to lightness, that every storm eventually passes, and that your energy knows exactly what it's doing. So if you're in a dense season right now, just take a deep breath. Trust. Remind yourself that the shift is already on its way, and when it comes, celebrate it fully. You're evolving, you're expanding, and you are not alone in this. Thank you for tuning in to Note to Self today. And if this message resonated with you and you'd like to do a deeper dive on what you're experiencing, I'm presently intaking one-to-one coaching clients, and there will be a link in the show notes for the application form. This is simply where you state your intention for coaching, what your goals are, and what your budget is, and I'll get back to you with a personalized program to support you in all the breakthroughs that are about to happen for you. So, sending you all so much love, and thanks for being here.